Shocking incident caught on camera in the heart of the national capital. A traffic constable, listen to this, seen hurling bricks at a woman when she allegedly refused to pay him a bribe. What's worse, the angry cop unleashed his rage in front of the victim's children. After Headlines Today aired the story this morning, the Delhi police have acted. They've sacked and arrested the constable Chandra. Pankaj Upadhyay with that story.
Horrifying images of a traffic cop going berserk in Delhi. A verbal tiff over a traffic violation setting off a brick-hurling barrage by the policeman. Images broken first by Headlines Today. The woman, on her way to drop her daughter at school, was stopped by the policeman. After a brief verbal argument over her driving license, things soon got terrifying. The woman is seen hurling a brick at the cop's bike. The policeman in turn took a shot at the woman, hurling the brick, bringing it down on her. Her terrified child crying out in horror as her mother is assaulted.
सर जी, मैं वो 200 रुपए मांग रहा था मुझसे, मैंने उसको दिया नहीं, मैंने स्लिप मांगी, वो उसने मुझे नहीं दी। वो कह रहा था आप ऐसे ही दे दो और जाओ मैडम आप। मैंने कहा मैं तो नहीं दूंगी, आप मुझे स्लिप दीजिए या मेरे चालान मेरे घर भेजिए। स्कूटी पूरी तोड़ दी उसने, पीछे से भी और आगे से भी। फिर मैं उसके मारने चली तो मैं तो कुछ नहीं कर पाई, उसी ने फिर मेरी बैक पे ईंट मार दी। अंकल ने पीछे से मम्मी की स्कूटी पे लात मारी अपने जूते से, फिर अंकल ने पत्थर उठाया मम्मी के मीटर पर मारा।
This is Satish Chand. That's the constable, as you can see, picking up that brick and bringing it down so hard on this particular woman. She's still wearing a helmet. Thankfully, that brick could have actually hit her head, and who knows what kind of injuries she would have sustained. Then, completely bruised, she herself goes and tries to wrestle that brick out of this policeman's hand. An embarrassed Delhi police brass has cracked the whip after Headlines Today's report. The head constable, Satish Chandra, was first suspended, then arrested and subsequently dismissed from service with immediate effect.
दिल्ली पुलिस के बिहाफ पर, अपने बिहाफ पर और हमारे हर पुलिसकर्मी के बिहाफ पर इसके लिए खेद प्रकट करता हूं। उस हेड कांस्टेबल को ऑलरेडी हमने सस्पेंड कर दिया है।
ये बहुत ही शर्मनाक घटना है और इस हेड कांस्टेबल को तुरंत प्रभाव से सस्पेंड कर दिया गया है।
The incident once again highlighting how much angrier Delhi is as the mercury shoots up. On Sunday, a biker had battered a DTC driver to death after the bus brushed with his motorcycle. Delhi, unfortunately, living up to its dubious and angry reputation. With Pankaj Upadhyay in Delhi, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
So what are the messages that this shocking story sends out? Joining me now, Dr. Jayanti Datta, clinical psychologist, and Kiran Bedi, former IPS officer. Both join me. Kiran Bedi knows a thing or two about traffic policing. But first, I want to speak to the lady involved. Ramandeep Kaur, I spoke to her. Listen into what she had to say. And joining me now is Ramandeep Kaur, who was at the center of what happened today, and her daughter Gagandeep, who was there when this happened. ये बताइए, अभी भी मैं देख रहा हूँ आपका हाथ प्लास्टर में है मैडम, अभी भी बहुत दर्द हो रहा है?
हाँ जी, बहुत दर्द हो रहा है इसमें।
और ये जो आज पूरी घटना हुई, ये बताइए, जब आप जा रही थी तीनों बच्चों के साथ लेकर, पुलिस वाले कहते हैं कि आप बगैर हेलमेट के तीनों के साथ ले जा रही थी, ये सही है गलत है?
आप तो हेलमेट तो देख सकते हैं, मैंने पहना हुआ है हेलमेट।
और बच्चों पर
तो नहीं था।
तो क्या उस पुलिस वाले ने क्या कहा?
हेलमेट को लेके नहीं कहा, उसने कहा कि आप रेड लाइट जंप करके आए हो। मैंने बोला अंकल वैसे तो मैंने किया नहीं, अगर आप कह रहे हो तो उसके लिए सॉरी। हाँ। और आगे से नहीं होगा। तो कहने लगा नहीं नहीं मैडम आपका चालान होगा। तो मैंने कहा चालान होगा तो चालान कर दीजिए। तो कहते हैं 200 रुपीज का। मैंने पैसे निकाल लिए, मैंने कहा ठीक है आप बना दीजिए चालान। कह रहे नहीं आप 200 रुपए मुझे दे दो, आप जाओ ऐसे ही।
यानी आपसे घूस मांग रहा था, साहब 200 रुपए की घूस मांग रहा था। क्या आपने रेड लाइट जंप की थी?
नहीं, मैंने रेड लाइट पहली बात नहीं जंप की।
नहीं की
क्योंकि मेरे
आपने, लेकिन क्या आपको मालूम है कि कानूनन आप 3 बच्चों के साथ बगैर हेलमेट के बाइक पे नहीं जा सकते?
नहीं, मैंने हेलमेट पहना था।
आपने बच्चों आपके साथ थे, उनका कहना है कि 4 लोग इस तरह से।
नहीं, 4 लोग तो नहीं, 4 महीने की बच्ची हेलमेट कैसे पहनेगी?
नहीं वो तो है, लेकिन
और ये भी हेलमेट कैसे पहनेगी?
अच्छा, वो हुआ, उन्होंने साफ आपसे 200 रुपए मांगे।
हाँ जी, बिल्कुल।
और फिर ईंट उन्होंने कब फेंका आप पर? क्योंकि फोटो में मैं देखता हूँ पहले आप फेंक रही हैं।
बताती हूँ उसका कारण, मैं बताती हूँ।
हाँ।
वो फोटो जो है ना वो बात की है, उससे पहले क्या हुआ था कि मैं स्कूटी पे खड़ी हुई थी, जब उससे बहस बसाई हो रही थी ना पैसों को लेके, तो पहले उसने मेरी स्कूटी में पीछे से अपने जूते से किक किया, तो पीछे की हेडलाइट टूट गई। अच्छा। ठीक है, फिर वो आया, उसने मेरा हाथ ये पीछे टर्न किया, मेरे हाथ में दर्द हुआ, फिर मैं एकदम होपलेस हो गई कि मैं करूं क्या। उसने उठाया ईंट मेरे स्कूटी के उस पे मारा, मीटर तोड़ दिया उसने पूरा। फिर मैंने अपनी स्कूटी छोड़ी वहीं पे, फिर मैं उसको पकड़ने के लिए भागी। वो तो लास्ट की फुटेज है,
ये लास्ट की फुटेज है। और तब उन्होंने ईंट आप पर फेंका। वो क्या आपको कभी उम्मीद थी कि एक पुलिस वाला आप पर, नागरिक पर डर गई, सहमी गई? बेटी की क्या हालत थी तब?
बेटी की पूछो जरा इसकी क्या हालत थी, तो रो रो के मामा जी प्लीज सॉरी जाने दो, मैं मामा जी सॉरी हमें जाने दो। एक बेटी मेरी अंकल जी अंकल सॉरी जाने दो हमें, लेकिन वो बिल्कुल नहीं मान रहा था। तो गंदी गंदी गालियां, मार पिटाई ऐसे कर रहा था जैसे मैंने कोई क्राइम किया हो।
तो आपको लगता है ये पूरा हुआ क्योंकि आप रिश्वत देने के लिए तैयार नहीं हुई, इसीलिए ये सब पूरा हुआ? और आप एक तरह से अब एक आपको लगता है कि इस तरह से अगर पुलिस वाले बर्ताव करें तो आम नागरिक का विश्वास पुलिस में
उठ गया है जी, उठेगा नहीं, उठ गया। जो जिस तरीके से वाकया मेरे साथ हुआ है, ये तो चलो पता नहीं किसी भले मानस ने वो वीडियो बना ली जो यहाँ तक मैं पहुंच गई, नहीं तो ऐसे तो कितने लोग होते हैं, हर किसी की वीडियो नहीं बनती और हर कोई यहाँ तक नहीं पहुंच सकता। तो पता नहीं सबके साथ पता नहीं क्या क्या करता होगा। और मेरे साथ तो खैर जो हुआ वो आप लोगों ने देखा ही, वो तो बहुत बात की फुटेज है। जो मुझे मारा है ना उसने, मैं उसको मारने के लिए भागी, मेरा दिमाग खराब है कि मैं उसको मारूंगी बेफालतू, कि वो पहले मेरा हाथ तोड़ चुका था।
रमनदीप जी, आपने हमसे बात की, आप पहले जाइए डॉक्टर के पास एक बार फिर, क्योंकि अभी भी दर्द बहुत है, बहुत ज्यादा। आप यहाँ आई, अपने बेटी के साथ आई, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
ओके,
let me then go to Kiran Bedi and Dr. Jayanti Datta, because there are troubling questions raised. This is not black and white, Kiran Bedi. The fact is the woman, she's denying it. She says she was wearing a helmet, but she had 3 kids, including a 4-month-old on this bike, and that she didn't jump the red light. Now, are you allowed to take 3 children with you and go on a bike? Is that allowed under the law? Hasn't she in the first place violated the law to that extent? Was the traffic policeman right in at least stopping her?
Yes, it was. She was violating. The fact is, she's admitting that she had too many children on the scooty, and there's absolutely a violation. So, and he was right in stopping her. But what happened afterwards is a matter which is now being investigated, but not captured on camera yet. What has been captured on camera is the violence, the brickbazi, the brick war. But what has not got captured is her violation and policemen's asking for a bribe, she refusing or saying give me a paper receipt. That is not on record.
My simple point therefore is, are you saying that based on these, are you saying therefore, let's be clear, the policeman had absolutely no right in trying even to throw a brick at this lady. I think we are clear about that. Are you therefore saying though that the question that this lady is raising, that she was asked to pay a bribe, are you questioning that needs to be investigated? Because the officer has already been sacked by your police, so presumably they've accepted what the lady has said.
I think no. I think what is without a doubt is he throwing a brick at this woman. I think that's without a doubt, and he had no business. And I think this is more serious. This is more serious than a simple violation or even asking for a bribe. Right. That is another parallel allegation. But I think what is more serious is a policeman in uniform throwing a brick at this helpless woman. Even though she committed a violation having children, I think even though she jumped a red light, but the policeman had no business to hammer a brick on this woman. That is not acceptable, and it is on that, and that's irrefutable evidence which you've got. But and I think there was, so it's open and shut in this matter.
Right. But
and I'm glad the police commissioners acted on it.
Dr. Jayanti Datta, what does this tell us about this policeman? There are 2 parts to his story. One, possibility that she jumped the red light, which is very possible. Possibility, and that she's admitting she was with 3 children on this bike. So therefore, she has violated the law. However, the policeman then, according to her, goes and asks for a bribe. She refuses. The policeman goes to the extent of hitting her back with a brick, even though she may have picked the brick first. What explains the fact that in a city like this, the police seem to be on the edge all the time, to the point where they are ready to throw a brick at a woman who has children with her? Precisely.
That is the most pertinent question I would like to raise. Every second day you hear that a man in uniform is, violating the sanctity of his uniform. Why? why are we not looking into the dynamisms behind the behavioral manifestations of the people in uniform?
So why are they behaving like this? Why?
No,
Is it the conditions? Is it the working
it's,
conditions?
Rajdip, it's high time we should not neglect this anymore, starting from Damini case. Now, whenever the policeman violates the duty code, we raise a question, we raise a flag,
yes,
and we sack him also. We always been saying Delhi police is committing this,
yes,
and but why are we not looking into why? There is so much of a stress, there is so much of pressure. Accepted, that is something should not be tolerated. He's been penalized for it. The policeman in uniform throwing a brick on her.
Yes.
But why are you letting go of the fact that a man who is a head constable, why was he provoked to such an extent that he had to do this? The woman
What according to is the explanation for that?
The explanation is the pressure, the stress under which our police forces are. Secondly, the common man has to take into cognizance that she doesn't have a right to violate the traffic rule. We are hearing only on the one side of the story. We are not paying so much of attention about the police reform. You look into...
Okay, that's a larger point. I take that point of police
but
reform.
I think, you know, one should have given a hearing to this man.
You believe a hearing should have been given?
Yes,
Kiran Bedi, let me give you a final word of 10 seconds. Do you believe this man should have got a hearing before he was sacked, or just the fact that he could go to the extent of throwing a brick is reason enough for him to be sacked right away? 15 seconds, ma'am.
No, I think the throwing the brick and irrefutable evidence was reason enough. Whatever the provocation, he was not, even if he was stressed, he had no business to throw the brick on that woman. I think that was reason enough, and I'm glad he's dismissed, because the certainty and severity of punishment in such cases is very vital to drive home a message.
We are not questioning that. I'm not questioning that. Penalization, deterrent punishment, we've been asking for it.
Yes.
It is there. It is right there, and it has come at the right time. But I would like the more investigations, little deeper analysis, why this kind of behavior is manifested repeatedly.
Okay, let's leave it there. Clearly, this case raises troubling questions, troubling about the way our streets are being managed today. Thank you both very much for joining me.